Hey everyone, Dan here. We are about a half hour after market close on Monday, June 14th. Today we're going to do that Monday thing and take a look at Palantir. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also feel free to comment below with your own thoughts, questions, ideas, tickers you'd like me to cover, etc. I check them every night, but I might be a little bit behind and it might take me a couple of days to reply. All right, let's jump right in. So Palantir has been on this nice recovery, basically starting around this point on, we'll call it May 13th. So it's been about a month in this nice up channel. In last week's video, if you recall, I had put this topping out, and basically said we really need to break through this previous topping out in order to not continue to consume all of the selling pressure there and just get pushed down further. So you see it did get pushed down one more time, but was able to basically catch itself at that exact same support level and has then surpassed finally this zone, which was very sticky for it. So kudos to Palantir. Let's take a look at some of the ways that you might be able to play Palantir now that it's on this uptrend. It is in this nice channel. As you know, I love to play channels, and it's kind of riding along the bottom of the channel, bottom half of the channel right now. So it is probably in decent dip buy range, though it is near the top still of, it's very close to this previous topping out, and then this long wick that stretched up to 25.23 still sort of like looms over its head as it currently stands. So I would just be kind of cautious for those. And, if you did want to kind of take an entry at this point, maybe you're happy to average down toward the bottom of the channel if it does move down there and then play the bounce up. That is, of course, assuming that the channel holds. If you have heard me say this once, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, all channels eventually break, so just don't be surprised if that happens tomorrow or any day after. It will eventually happen. There should be really good support right around here. It's like a little band of support kind of from there to there. So like 24.19 to 24.34 should offer really good support should it be needed. A little bit closer in support should be right about 24.65, about 30 cents lower than the price is right now. On the upside, I'm going to expand back out a little bit to catch a bunch of this previous price action in order to inform price zones to the upside. So I'm not actually even going to look at where it is at the moment. I can get rid of that. And this should be pretty solid zone here, 25.28. And we'll talk in a second about how you can use these upper price targets with your trading, or ways at least that I use them in my trading that might be helpful for you, whether you're looking to lock in some profit, take some profit off the table, or get into Palantir on sort of like a dip buy opportunity while the price is actually recovering quite nicely. Okay, so here's the upper price targets that I would be looking for. So I don't actually have to show this on the actual chart. It's going to be a little bit challenging where the price is today, but let me just take this sort of like blank-ish area to talk about how you can use this. So right now, let's say the price is right there about that 25.28. Since it has been showing price strength, if you've been waiting to buy in until you feel like Palantir is actually kind of recovering a bit and showing some price strength, let's say you see the price move up and it makes a run toward a bit over 27 in the coming day or days, then you know that it may hit resistance here, or it may sort of like kind of lose some steam and start to come back down. So you have a couple of catch zones now. Now you have 26.85 underneath and you have 26.05 underneath. So maybe you'll say, okay, so if this starts to come down, I'd be happy to take a position if it starts to show some strength as it approaches this 26.85. And even if it kind of dips even further, I'd be happy to average down to that 26.05. If it breaks that 26.05 and starts to head towards that 25.28, then maybe that's a stop loss, just as a complete example. But this is the way to buy a dip into price strength. Price is moving up and all upward action eventually takes a breath, right? So the idea is whatever the price target or price zone is underneath where the price currently is could be a nice dip buy zone because there should be some support that comes into play there. So that's what I would look for in the days ahead if you're looking for, to add to your position, to get back into Palantir or what have you. Additionally, what you could be doing is as the price moves up, you could be locking in profit at these zones, trimming out little by little, as it heads toward 30. Just depends what your goal is for trading Palantir, what it is that you're trying to get out of it. But that's what I would look for in the short term. And then beyond that, just as long as this channel is in play, I would just play this channel because that's, the most reliable thing. It is nice that it tested the bottom here and here, and top. I would have liked to see it. This is why I almost wouldn't be sad if it tested the bottom again. I would like to see it reconfirm because I don't love it when it spends so much time in the middle of these channels, because it makes me question whether or not these are just sort of anomalies and they just happen to form a channel, but that the price action isn't actually moving consistently to the top and the bottom of the channel and forming it that way, which is strongly preferred. Let's take a look at the indicators. First on the MAs, a nice bullish crossover here that happened around the 28th of May and then completed the bullish crossover as the 50 crossover on the 3rd of June. And so now we're in a nice formation here. Just, be aware that the 20 and the 50 are closing ground on each other. So they had much more real estate between them here, and they've started to compress a bit closer together. So that could signal that, they're going to consolidate a bit, that maybe it's going to come down a bit, there may be a bearish crossover coming. But just be aware that for whatever reason, they are trimming their distance between each other, which, if something is very, very bullish, we want to see it continuing to grow distance between the MAs. On the RSI side of things, pretty high, so it could bring, again, some consolidating or selling pressure into the marketplace for Palantir, but that's why I would keep an eye on the bottom bound of that channel, of course. And the MACD actually showing kind of the opposite. It's showing a slightly bullish crossover. I mean, it's a bullish crossover, but it's not very steep. We like these steep ones, these ones that really kind of like rocket up. Those are often result in much longer lasting and kind of frantic's probably the wrong word, but just a stronger show of strength to the upside, the steeper the crossover. Not always, but often. So this kind of like, kind of relaxed, lackadaisical kind of crossover, where they're kind of moving in parallel and they just happen to weave. This could mean that they're going to cross over a couple more times, kind of like you saw right here. It's just kind of like crossing above and below and above and below, basically consolidating out, trying to pick its next direction. Or it could continue to grow some real estate, and if the space between the MACD and the signal continues to increase, then that could give you a good opportunity to take advantage of another bull run. It's a bit, it's a bit above the baseline. It's not super close to the baseline, so but it does still have a decent amount of room to run, even to just get back to this area where we saw it before on the 2nd of June. All right, well, that's what I would look for playing this one in the days and the weeks ahead. I certainly wish you the best of luck. I hope your trading week is off to a good start, and I will see you in the next video.